welcome to Movies and Munchies. I'm Billiana Reyes.
And I'm Lauren Craig.
And today's episode, we are going to be talking about Marriage Story. It is a film about a stage director and his actor wife who struggle through a grueling coast-to-coast divorce that pushes them to their personal and creative extremes. And for our Munchies,
we have Doritos Spicy Sweet Chili. I'm a big fan of Doritos and spicy chips, and the spicy sweet chili combination really piqued my interest. So do you want to try them out?
Yeah, let's try them. Okay. You can never go wrong with Doritos, just so you know.
They're good. I definitely taste the sweetness and the spicy. Let me taste another one. Hold on.
They have a little kick to it, at the end of it with the sweetness.
I like the flavor. I wish the flavor was just slightly stronger because I feel I like my chips really spicy.
I'm not a big fan of too hot.
See, I like to if I'm eating spicy chips, I want to need water.
What's your score?
I feel like these aren't spicy enough for me, but they have nice flavor. I like the combo spicy and sweet, so I think I would give these a 3.
I would give this a 4. If I eat too much, my tongue will start to burn. But yeah, a 4 definitely if I had a glass of water.
I like my spicy notch level all the way up.
The first question I have for you with Marriage Story is, do you think the husband should have fought harder for the wife during the divorce?
I don't know, because I feel like the movie really started at the divorce part. So there's really no telling how much he had already fought for her. So it is quite possible that he had already exhausted himself fighting for this marriage and they just decided to give up. But at the same time, there were so many parts that I wanted them to fight for each other. So I feel like my answer is I don't know, because I would need more context into their relationship pre-divorce hearing, I guess.
I agree. Yes, of course, you would always want it to be a happy ending and have them fight for each other. But then again, we didn't really see what was the root of what caused them to get to this point.
My first question for you is, do you think that working with a significant other, especially creatively, is a mistake, or do you think it's something wonderful?
I actually think it's wonderful. So my husband is also a photographer, and I'm pushing him into DP more, and he does all my short films, all my blogs, anything I feel I want to do on camera, he does it. And at first it was very hard for us because I have this creative side and he has this creative side, and we're just clashing. But over, I guess, projects, we started getting used to each other and how we talk to each other and what creative aspects we want to put in, and both acknowledge okay, that was a good idea, or that was very stupid, we should have done it a different way. So yeah, at the beginning it was a kind of rocky, but now I love it because we're both on the same page, we're both creatively flowing. How about you and your boo? Do you feel
I love that.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think it is a thin line to walk when you're first starting out, because it can you each have your own opinion, and then it's so much emotional that goes into it of especially creatively, if someone is trying to critique you, creatives take things very I feel like creatives are very sensitive. So yeah, so that can be a touchy subject. So my boyfriend is not in the creative world, but he does help me with my auditions and stuff, and I feel it's really nice having him help me with that stuff. But in the movie, how he was directing her, I feel that would be kind of a tough line to cross, if someone had like a position over the other person, if that makes sense. Because I feel like that could be like really touchy, but it could also be wonderful. It just depends on how you navigate it.
I totally agree. Like, for me and my husband, we agree, like, in the beginning, like, if it's whoever's project it is initially, like, they're the director. Like, they have the final say-so for their baby or for their project. Yeah, so it's just finding the balance. Totally agree.
Nice.
So, I am very curious about your thoughts on this. Do you think that the wife filed for divorce in LA because she like wanted full custody of the kid, or it just happened because she moved to LA?
I think it just happened because she moved to LA, and I say that because when she first met with the lawyer, she was still it was still when she was like still trying to do what he wanted to do. She was still like wanting to consider all of his feelings and just like was a little more codependent on that whole side. And even when she was meeting with the lawyer, she was saying, oh, well, we agreed that I would go back to New York after this. And it was really the lawyer that was saying, like, well, we're here to talk about what you want. So I don't think that she maliciously I don't think that was her intent initially with hiring that lawyer.
I also am on the same boat with you on this. I think she just moved there, and it so happened to be like she was settling there and just wanted to start doing the process. But then again, you do see that struggle of her, like, should I really do this or should I not do this?
In the movie, Scarlett Johansson, I call her ScarJo like we're best friends. So she was, fresh back in LA doing this pilot, and it was obvious, like, that she was, like, kind of back down at the bottom the way that they were talking about her as she was acting. And she kind of, like, challenged the director and directed the director about, oh, I shouldn't hold the baby like this. How do you feel as an actor? Would you try to direct the director, basically, if you were on, like, a large set? And do you think that there is, like, a certain level that you have to get to before you're starting to, like, throw your own creative juices in? Or are you kind of like, no, whatever level you're at, you should be able to voice your opinion?
I think it's like 50-50. So I have worked with directors that are like, Billy, I really want your input and I want us like it to be a very collaborative film. And I love that because then I could voice my opinions and make sure like we're both on the same track of how we want this character to be perceived. But then again, like on bigger stuff that are like multi-million-dollar things and I just have like a supporting character, I'm just like, I'm not gonna say anything. Like, this is your project. I'm not the lead. But definitely, if I'm like the lead of the project I'm working on, then I love working with the director and making sure we're both on the same page, making sure we both understand the character fully, and just trying to make the project as best as we can. So yes, that's when I would voice my opinion. But if it's like a side character, like, no, I'm okay. How about you?
I was thinking the same thing, and then I was also kind of like, well, should I? Like, even if I am just a co-star and I notice something, should I speak up? And I think it really depends on, like, you feel out how, yeah, you feel out when you're on set, like, how these people are. Like, you can kind of tell who you're working with. So, like, I've co-starred on a TV show that was, like, a huge production, and the director was very, like, not really the most friendly person, and so I did not feel comfortable voicing my opinion there. But, like, I've also worked with, like, even as an extra doing background work, I've worked with directors who were very open, very kind, and, like, went out of their way to talk to me. So in that scenario, even though I was just a background actor, I would feel comfortable, like, discussing things. But, I think it just depends on, yes, how big you are. Because if I was the star of that show with that pushy director, I would have been like, listen, this is what I want. But I'm just kidding. But I would definitely feel more comfortable voicing. So I think it just depends on exactly what you said, the size of the role, and then also how you feel about the director.
So my last question for you is, do you think the wife secretly wants to get back with the husband? Because throughout the whole movie you see like these little acts of kindness, like her like giving up her time with the son, or her like tying his shoe at the end. Do you think she like secretly wants to get back, or like is still in love with him?
I do not think she wants to get back with him. And I was so torn in this movie. This is why I really like this movie, because it was so like raw and it felt so real. And I feel like so many people can relate to this film. And that's probably why it did so well. But you still obviously like have love for that person, especially like how long they've spent together. They've been through so much. They have a child together. So obviously like they still have love for each other as human beings. But you can see how much she like grew and kind of like went into her own during the movie, and like as she was going through the divorce, she really evolved, and I think she grew a lot, and I don't think she would want to backtrack on that growth.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I think like she does still love him, of course, but not as to the point where she wants to like be with him, like living in under the same roof. Like you just see her being able to like spread her wings after not having to do that so much, like giving up her career just to like not support her family but take care of the kid. So it was like, I agree, it's very raw and very like something everyone could relate to.
Okay, my last question for you is, were you rooting for either one of them throughout the film? If so, which one and why?
I was definitely rooting for the father, and it's just because I love Adam as an actor. Like, I loved everything he's been in, and plus he's a prior service military. He was in the Marines, so that's really close to my heart as another military veteran. And so yeah, I was rooting for him, and I guess because also we didn't see like the beginning before the divorce, so it was just like crushing to see him cry and like go through all this stuff, and it was kind of like he was a little kid because he didn't know what to do throughout this situation. But then again, I mean, we didn't see the beginning, so like, what if he just gave up?
I was at the beginning, I was rooting for ScarJo, because I love seeing someone who kind of loses their sense of self regain that, and I felt like I really saw that with her, and I was like, man, I'm so happy for her, like rediscovering who she is and just growing. So I was rooting for her in that, but then like throughout the movie I did start to see his perspective and just how he felt. I felt like he just like didn't understand a lot of things that were going on, like you were saying, and you just see his like humanity and how much he loves his child and how much he doesn't want to lose that. And so with that kind of softened me to be like, okay, there's definitely like two sides here. They both made mistakes. They both did kind of crappy things to each other, but they both were trying to protect their child, and so I could really respect that. So I feel like at the end I just was rooting for both of them, but at the beginning I was definitely rooting for her.
So out of a 5-star, what would you rate Marriage Story?
I said 5 stars. I thought this film was amazing, honestly. Like, and I have been wanting to watch this, but I didn't want to cry, and I knew I was gonna cry, and I freaking cried, of course.
I totally agree with you on this. It is a 5-star. I mean, it's relatable. It's something people go through on a daily basis or like within their marriage. And it's just such good acting. Thanks so much for watching Movies and Munchies. I hope you enjoyed our show. Thanks for watching our review of Marriage Stories. And don't forget to check out our Munchies, or try our Munchies.
Yes. Try out Doritos Spicy Sweet Chili. And don't forget to leave in the comments below if you have any ideas of what we should review next, snacks or movies. Thanks so much for checking us out. See you next time.
Bye.